Hey there, everyone. It's an NHL Algorithm update. It's Thursday, February 18th, 2021. And let's talk about yesterday. Let's talk about Wednesday, the 17th. And not a big winning day, but an interesting day as I'm doing more work on this file and some interesting things that I like about what happened. And kind of the way I feel about hockey in general. I feel like if you're watching this video, I've been doing two separate videos for the sports betting or the sports algorithm segment of YouTube videos that I do. One for college basketball and the other for hockey right now. I'm a lifelong hockey player and, of course, hockey fan. I don't watch a lot of college basketball, but it's an interesting game to bet because there are so many games. Hockey is so much more difficult to bet, but I love watching it. And I watched hockey tonight, and I lost. I lost tonight. I mean, I had Calgary. I had Winnipeg. I trusted the algorithm, and I got burnt tonight, and it sucked because I really could have had a great night if either of those teams would have won. Bummer. But but let's learn about what this algorithm is doing, and let's talk about what's happening here. So today, first of all, these goaltenders, it predicted a big scoring game of seven something goals, and it got there, even though it didn't look like it. I think it was 2-1 at the end of the second period or something. But they got there, and I like that the algorithm, even though it doesn't get the team right, it said it was a close game. That's okay. That's okay. I don't mind losing games with really small percentages like four here. I don't mind that at all, given that it's thinking it's going to be a 7 goal, 8 goal game, and it gets to 7 goals, and the goaltenders are not great. This goalie looked like the goalies looked like they were playing decent in the beginning of the game, and then they fell apart at the end because they're not good goaltenders. So I like what the algorithm did there, even though it lost the game and thought Carolina would beat. Carolina actually led this game quite handily. I think they were up 2-0, and then they were up like 3-2, right? And then they blew it. Whatever. Anyway. Uh, Ottawa and Toronto. I want to discuss this game. So we don't really need to see the times right now. So looking at Ottawa and Toronto, I understand why this game ends up not being a 6-1 game and end up being a 2-1 game. And let me explain why. Ottawa has decided that Toronto has a lot of firepower, so they went into a defensive mode, understanding that this is what the natural predictions of how this game could go. If they are willy nilly and try to score some, and float around and try to get guys up in the offensive and not play a really tight defensive game, so that brings the score of this game down. I don't know how to get the algorithm to program that in. I got to figure out what factors contribute to something like that. But I understand why Toronto barely wins this and doesn't cover. So understand that when you see something like this where it's predicting a really, really low score for Ottawa, it means Ottawa knows they're not supposed to score very many goals. So what are they going to do to try to stay in this game and make it a 2-1 game? So we'll think about that going forward. Chicago and Detroit here, I mean, it said that Detroit wasn't going to score much, maybe a goal. They didn't even get one, and Chicago just got up two and didn't get an extra empty net or whatever. And okay, they cover, and that's good. That's a win. It's one of the only wins today. Vancouver and Calgary here. Vancouver explodes or something. They got a couple goals late in the second, really screwed this up, and Calgary just wasn't there, and just boom, done. And Winnipeg doesn't get any bounces to win this to come back and tie this thing up 3-3. They tried. It was close, but didn't happen. So that's a loss too. All right, let's talk about 4 minutes in. Let's talk about today, Thursday the 18th. There's a pretty big schedule here actually. So let's hide that. I think there's something we want to show here. We want to show starters. So I have this, I have this area for goalie status to show what status. Everybody's unconfirmed right now anyway, so we're not really going to get any good information, but it's a guess for now. And of course, if you want to subscribe to this, I think it's like $25 for the rest of the month. I'll be doing this throughout the season, but I'm setting up as a monthly subscription now because it's a lot of work every day as we develop it. So anyway, all right, let's talk about today, right? Let's look at the times. Actually, expand this out a little bit. Nope, like that, like that. A lot of stuff you can adjust in this file that you get every day if you subscribe to this. And I'm also setting up a Google Sheet that will have live goalie starters so that we can get the correct projections based on the goaltender. Alrighty. All that being said, New Jersey and Boston. It likes Boston to win 4-2. Pretty consistent with what Vegas would say here. I don't think there's going to be too much to do here, but Boston probably wins this game, but it's not a great line. The Rangers and Philadelphia. I haven't seen the Flyers play much. I think they're coming off a COVID break, so this could be a brand new game. Rangers, not a very talented team. 2 even lines. Why not go with Philly here? It's amazing that it gives Philly 5 goals here. I guess that's because of Shesterkin, if he's actually playing. So that's a pretty good line for Philadelphia based on the projected score. That's good to know. Buffalo and the Caps. That's right. Thursday game. Actually, I think I could go to this game, right? I think are they selling tickets? I think they might be. I could go to this. This is tomorrow. This is the day I'm talking about. I will check to see if I can go to this game. I'd like to go to this game and push the Caps in. Look at it predicting a 6-1 Caps win. How about that? All right, that's interesting. Now I will actually check to see if I can get tickets. See if I'm allowed to go to that game as a human being. We will find out. Islanders versus the Pittsburgh Penguinos. Look at that super tie game. That's one of those where I'll go on to DraftKings and I'll be like, all right, I'm going to bet that this game is going to be a tie. Just because I love when the algorithm does that. That's pretty awesome. It's predicting a 3-3 tie, but it thinks that the Islanders pull it out in the end, although it doesn't like Sorokin in net. So check to see if Varlamov gets thrown in here later in the day. That's important information that's not confirmed yet. That's important. Nashville and Columbus going to Ohio. Elvis. They've got Elvis in Ohio playing against Nashville. Elvis obviously has to play against Nashville. Doesn't that make sense? Elvis is supposed to beat Nashville. Doesn't that make sense? Apparently, according to the algorithm, Elvis is just as strong as Pekka Rinne, and it's in Columbus. Columbus also a town, I believe, known for music. Am I right about that? Maybe it's Toledo. One of those Ohio cities is one of the music towns. It's got like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or something. Anyway, that's intriguing that it really likes Elvis to cover over Pekka. Ottawa and Toronto, we've seen what can happen here. We just discussed how these games might not be as high scoring as we think if Ottawa continues to do what they've been doing the last few games, or it might be an insane game where Ottawa wins 6-5 like it did a couple games ago too. So who knows? But Toronto, of course, is supposed to win, but the line's just not good. St. Louis and San Jose in St. Louis. Binnington against Jones. I like St. Louis here a lot. I think that's very reasonable. That's reasonable. 3-1, 3-2 type game. Totally. LA and Arizona. It likes Arizona in every category possible. This is one of those sneaky picks where Arizona's minus 159, and if Cal Peterson plays, this is a 3 or 4-2, 4-3, 3-2 game, something like that. And I think Arizona is actually a very reasonable line at 159. Because look at all the confirmation in every category of that happening. So we'll see what the goalie matchup actually is. And then Minnesota and Anaheim, it likes really close game, but thinks Anaheim pulls it out. Minnesota not playing all that great. And you get a nice line here. It's an underdog that it's picking in every category possible. So that's another good pick, sneaky pick late in the day on Thursday. All right, good luck, everybody. May all of your picks be doing the best that they can do. Enjoy watching your hockey. I must say, what games did I watch today? I watched a little of Florida, Carolina. I watched a little of Ottawa, Toronto. I watched a little of a lot of these games. And Calgary disappointed the hell out of me. That was the only game I wish I hadn't watched at all. But this was a good game. And this was a good game, too. This Florida-Carolina game was a good game in the middle of the day. So, gotta like what the NHL is putting out. I pay for the NHL package, even though you can't get any game you want to watch because it's always out of market no matter where you are. How does that work? How do I pay for this and I can't get the game that's on television? Explain that one to me. Well, whatever. All right, good luck, everybody. May all your picks be doing the best that they can do, which is hopefully winning.